As you can see, I've put some newspaper down on the workbench. I don't want to glue my wing to the workbench, so that's the reason for the newspaper. I have this clamp here. Now this is going to hold this down flush on the table so that my repair is straight and flat. And I have a bench dog here and one here with this piece of wood. Now once this is tightened down and this is held flat, I'll tighten the bench vise up here, and that'll put pressure on my glue joint right here. Now what I did on this is I cleaned this up on a belt sander, and my belt sander also has an adjustable table on it, so I could set this angle so my angle is consistent on both pieces so that they'll mate back together nice and straight, and we'll have a nice flat surface for glue. Normally on these antiques I like to repair structural joints, like where rails come onto the legs, with the original type of glue, which would have been a animal hide glue, which is what I will use to reattach these arms. But in this case, on this particular joint, I'm going to use a Titebond waterproof glue. It's a little bit stronger than the animal hide glue, not a great deal, but a little bit, and it's not water soluble, so hopefully this repair will outlast any joints where this hooks to the chair, or if the case may be, the animal hide glue is reversible with a little hot water and steam. If in later years somebody wants to remove this, they'll be able to remove this arm, or I'm sorry, this wing, without affecting this repair here. I have this set up so I can slide this out without disturbing my setup here. And we're going to apply some glue to both surfaces. I want to make sure we get a nice even coat. And we can slide this right back in here. And I can tighten this right down onto the workbench and keep everything nice and flat. And the bench dog here, which will keep this from moving. And we can tighten this right on up. Getting some nice squeeze out here. It's hard to see it here because there's some wood broken away, but that's on there pretty snug. So we'll let that set. I might get another clamp put on here just to be sure that that's going to stay flat. Loosen this up a bit. There, that's better. Now we'll just wait. With this glue you can release the clamps after a half an hour, but I'm going to go ahead and let this sit right here at least until tomorrow. Then we'll take that off and we can put these wings back on the chair. While we're waiting for the glue to dry up on the wings, we need to turn our attention to the chair. And you can see where the wings are attached to the chair on the top and on this cutout on the arm. What we need to do is we need to get in there with a chisel And we need to scrape away all the old glue residue. You can see that right in there. All that old glue. And there's also some wood fibers in here. All this needs to be cleaned up. I see a lot of repairs that people try to make, and what they'll do is they'll just take a new layer of glue on, spread it on there, and then put the wing back on. The problem with that is that new glue is not going to stick to the old glue, so you're not going to have a repair that's going to last any amount of time. And down here on the arm really isn't too bad, but you can see we have some glue residue right in this area. Got a little bit here, and I don't know if we can catch it on the camera or not, but we've also got some glue in here. So I'm going to take a nice sharp chisel and I'll show you how we can scrape that right off. Very important that your chisels be sharp for this. What we're going to do is just take this chisel and just gently scrape away all the old glue. With a nice sharp chisel, this works pretty easy. This comes off without a whole lot of effort. So we're just going to keep working at this. Okay, we've got the upper piece all cleaned. You can see we scraped off all that old glue residue. So now we can turn our attention down here to the arm. I'll be using my chisel here again to scrape off what glue residue there is here. You just want to be real careful. You just want to take the glue. You don't want to take as little bit of the wood as possible.